Terrible advice, terrible relationship advice, terrible dating advice that you might have heard, read, seen, learned. My name is Coach Andres, certified life and relationship coach, and I'm here to help you kind of break down this terrible advice that you might have seen, heard, or learned, and why it is terrible. Why, why it's not helpful, why it's quite just unhealthy, if not realistic in the dating world today. Maybe back in the earlier 1900s where things were more simple and less options and no swiping, but in today's world, everyone's so easily replaceable. Everyone's on so many dating apps. Everyone is so impatient. So let's get right into it. Number one, let me elaborate as I share what it is. So don't judge me right off the bat. Don't take it easy. Let them make the first move. Let them make the first move. Ladies, you never make the first move. Eyes down, no acknowledgement, play hard to get, no. I know what you mean. I know what you're thinking. Never make the first move. Let them make the first move. Okay, there is some great traditional ways of the man making the first move in any sense. If he's a gentleman, again, I love the chivalry act of doing those things. Again, I think it's strong, it's confident, it's empowering, it's good, it's masculine. And obviously ladies love that confidence, that effort. But I want to break this down where let them make the first move to this point here is, well, you could show interest. That's the point. If you don't show interest, that's the whole point of let them make the first move. It's so extreme and so intense and dramatic. Don't show interest. Don't look at him. Don't smile at him. Don't acknowledge him. Play hard to get. Be cold. That level of advice where people sometimes take when they say let them make the first move. Don't do anything. Sometimes people misinterpret things differently. And sometimes they take it to the extreme of not even showing or acknowledging interest. In today's world, people have so many options. People are impatient. Everyone's replaceable. Hard relationships are hard to find. Good relationships are hard to find. Relationships just to be easily replaced and swiped and expendably just gone. A fellow coach said this, and it was great advice of choose who you want to pursue you. Show interest to who you want to pursue you. Acknowledge and share and show interest in someone who you'd like to see if they would pursue you, and they would make the first move. It's almost like the same idea of dating apps. You're making the first move of interest, ladies, of swiping right on someone, right? We've come to that world where it's not only acceptable, but, encouraged. Swipe, show me who you like. Profile, pictures, bio, height. You are making the first move on the dating apps. You have no problem doing that on your own couch where it's privately on your own time. But you're showing interest. You are making the first move. And hopefully, if someone that you swiped right on swipes with you, you're a match. So we are now so almost encouraged, if not pushed, to date and use dating apps. And we don't even acknowledge that you're making the first move all the time. You're making the first move. You like someone's picture, you comment on their story, you swipe right on their profile. That's the whole point of letting them let them make the first move. Even to a point where I have clients who I try to encourage to use Bumble in some form, because in that way you can control the interaction messaging board of not getting blown up with so many messages right off the back, where some clients will be like, well, hold on. So if I match with someone and the women have to initiate conversation, what do I do? What do I say? I was like, well, listen, if you want someone who's actually taking you serious and someone of interest, of some level of confidence, all you got to say is hi. All you got to say is hi. And she's like, oh, I could do that. And I was like, think of this. Let's say you guys are in an environment, let's say a restaurant or a company party or something, and you see someone attractive that you seem that you kind of fond of. You don't have to make the first move, but if you give them a little eye contact, if you give her a little smile, if you acknowledge their presence for more than 1 second, that is showing interest. That's a swipe right. That's a swipe right. And you want to be able to see if they have the confidence, the awareness, if not the availability, to come approach you. So you just saying hi in that situation of something like Bumble, you want to see if they have the confidence, the availability, and the awareness to kind of build up on that. Well, hello to yourself. Great profile, by the way. Are you really into yada, yada, yada from your bio? And start conversation. In the dating apps, you're making the first move all the time. But the advice of never make the first move, let them make the first move, is only specifically targeted towards social gatherings and in the world of where we hang out. That's not good advice. It's terrible advice. On your own phone, in your own living room, you are making the first move all the time. But if you're out somewhere at a party or a restaurant or a bar, no, you don't make the first move. Don't. I agree. Let's see if the man will be confident enough to make the first move as an interaction, the question, the approach. But you could show interest. Make the move to show interest. That's where the advice of let them make the first move needs to kind of evolve. Encourage who you want to make the first move. Show interest. That's the move you want to make. Show interest. Waiting for someone else to make the first move will often leave you just, waiting. It is incredible how many times both people wait for the other person to make the first move and demonstrate interest first. Again, ladies, I'm very chivalrous. Don't make the first move physically, but show interest. It could take a little courage to make the first move, but you'll be shocked by how this will improve your dating life regardless of your gender. Fortune favors the bold in love more than any other endeavor. Take chances. I'm not saying you need to go approach him, ladies. I'm saying show interest. Have a nice little smile, a little more of a eye contact. Show that. In that way, you're going to see, is he interested? Is he going to come up and be confident? Is he aware that I'm looking at him a certain way? Is he emotionally available where he actually is single, where he'd want to come say hi to me? Because if he doesn't do any of those things, he might not be available. He might be engaged, or he has a girlfriend. If he's not aware of it, then maybe he's just not really paying attention or prioritizing dating in any way because he's not ready emotionally. Or if he's just that shy, insecure to a point where you are showing interest and doesn't still want to do it and holding back and staying with his buddies the whole time. Do you really want someone who doesn't take the move, take the initiative, take the confident choice to come up to you at least and say hello? Do you really want to have to hold his hand on dating you? There's a huge learning system or a learning reaction of that. Are they available by them coming up? If they don't come up, maybe they're not available. Are they aware that what you're doing is showing them interest? If they're not aware of it, then they're really probably just kind of focused on something else, which is okay. Any of these reasons are okay. And the third one, if they are aware, they see what you're doing, but are hesitant, do you really want to babysit him and teach him how to become a boyfriend to you? If they're not willing to initiate the effort by you showing interest, you learn a lot about that person. Not good or bad, but in that sense of truth. Which leads to number 2. This one is very interesting. Terrible advice when your friends tell you this. Terrible advice if you read this in your rom-com novel. Terrible advice if you see this on your favorite TV show. If they can't handle you at your worst, then they don't deserve you at your best. Who are we talking about here? Is this like a Bruce Banner Hulk difference? Are we talking about Dr. Jekyll and Hyde here? What are we talking about? If they can't handle you at your worst, they don't deserve you at your best. Ultimately, I understand in the relationships, marriages is about, ups and downs, the pros and cons. But this advice it really does emphasize and encourage the first part of handling you at your worst. Everyone has a bad moment, bad time, bad funk, bad, chapter in their life, or trauma, or trigger, or insecurity, red flag. Trust me, I'm very aware of it. But the key thing is this. Saying they can't handle you at worst, instead of trying to rationalize your bad behavior, you should actually try to spend time to actually improve that bad behavior. Something I said about my other coaching video. You want to see improvement, effort, awareness, progress of anyone's worst behaviors. So if someone's worst behavior, well, if you want me at my best, you better accept me at my worst. Okay, I will accept you at your worst, but are we going to experience the worst often? Are we going to experience the worst again and again, repetitively, without any acknowledgement, accountability, awareness, or ever any choice to get better at? Is your worst literally always going to be the worst freaking day of the year? That's the advice sometimes people might take to the extreme measure of, well, if I really enjoy her at her best, if I enjoy him at his best, I have to accept the worst. No, you don't. No one should hold themselves to that level of standard, because the idea is your worst moment, your worst time, and hopefully we are never judged by our worst situations that we put ourselves through, but more about the character we choose to grow from. Like I always say, what happens to you doesn't define you. What you do next defines you. So again, I'm not excusing. I'm not trying to ignore. I'm not trying to cover up the idea of people being in their worst moments. I understand it. Trust me, I've had mine. That's why I'm a coach. But you don't want someone to be able to handle that and act like that's always going to be there. That's always going to be the situation to put someone in because you take me at my best. No, it's more to a point where, my goodness, how much do I appreciate you there for me at my toughest time, my darkest time, my loneliest moment, when no one believed me, you were there. If someone is there at your worst, if someone is on your side at those toughest times in your life, that is a special, special person. That is a special situation, special bond between two people. Wouldn't you want to show that appreciation, to be like, okay, next time when this trigger, this trauma, this holiday, this tradition, this memory, this very tough thing that really gets to me comes again in my life, which it probably will, I'm going to try to handle myself a little better, a little more responsible. I'm really not going to self-destruct. I'm not going to sabotage the situation. Now, I won't get good, but I'm going to get a little better than before. So I won't be the worst. I'll be bad. And then next time I won't be bad. I've seen better. And then next time after I've seen better, that's pretty decent. Again, that's the whole thing. What I try to do as a coach is help you understand and be aware of the three stocks you have in life. You're great. Let's focus on that becoming amazing. You're good. Let's try to get that at great. And you're bad. Let's try to get that to not so bad, before decent, before average. Almost like an F to a D minus to a D to a D plus. There's steps, there's stages that we have to understand in our grading life of emotional intelligence. You don't go from F to an A. You don't go an F to a C. You go from F to literally to a D minus. And you might shoot to a C minus quickly, but you're going to go through a D minus, D plus, C minus. Because those are growing moments. Those are actual huge stepping stones to who you ultimately will become. So your worst isn't the worst anymore. Your worst is a tough day. Your worst is a heavy conversation. Your worst is I need a little time for myself, a little 10 minutes. Your worst has now become a strength. That's the whole point of that advice. That's the whole point of this discussion, which leads to number 3. Number 3, chemistry means you found the one. Chemistry. All right, Big Bang Theory, relax. It's not about just chemistry. Chemistry is great. Chemistry is sexy. Chemistry is fun, but it's the first C of the 3 C's in a relationship: chemistry, connection, compatibility. Everyone in the dating stages, I don't care who you are, where you're from, or how you started, when you match with someone, when things are going well, when you're on the first date, first match, first phone call, first kiss, first sleepover, most of the times your chemistry is very hot because you're excited. Both of you are enthused to be together. You're attracted to each other. Everything you're saying is perfect. Everything is great. So the chemistry is highly intensified by just being in a very new moment. Then that spark starts to die down because reality kicks in. Connection. Are we really connected? Do you really like who I am? Do we have anything in common? Can we talk about other things? Are we only just sexually together? Are we always just in this casual situation? Maybe there isn't that much of a connection. Compatibility. Do you want kids? I don't want kids. You want marriage? I don't know if I want marriage. Is religion a situation? Is politics a big factor? How much do you want to keep on traveling? Oh, you want to date other people. Compatibility. Chemistry means you found the one is not. Chemistry is more of the first step, the first moment of, okay, we both are excited to get to know each other. Great. That's a beautiful point of where you want to start off. But it doesn't mean you found the one. It means you found someone to get to know more. Because then you need to value connection. Then you need to be patient to see if compatibility is there. Because when you have all 3, then now you really have a higher chance of saying, yeah, that is the one. Chemistry is fun and sexy. Connection is deep and fulfilling. And compatibility feels secure and safe. Again, there's reasons why you have those 3 C's, those 3 stages in a relationship. So chemistry isn't or the only reason why you found the one. Chemistry, let's see. Everyone wants to feel the rush of attraction and love, but sometimes you can't trust those butterflies in your stomach. Again, let me repeat that. Everyone wants to feel the rush of attraction and love. So again, first match, first date, first sleepover, first sex, first makeout, first this, first that. Love, the boom, the rush, the rush, the rush. Everything's great. That's chemistry. But sometimes you can't trust the butterflies in your stomach. Your gut is saying maybe a little too fast. Your gut is saying, well, the situation's a little different. Your gut is saying, well, there is some questionable characteristics or a lot of inconsistencies in the stories. The brain plays interesting tricks on us, sending love glitter through our brain and body, which then convinces us this person is the one. Some of the brightest high-intensity sparks happen with people with personality disorders. True, impatience, anxiety, I get it. But my point is, let me cut that off. Editor, whoever's editing, cut off the part of some of the brightest high-intensity sparks happen. I'm not going into personality disorders. Point is, chemistry sometimes convinces us that the person is the one only on the highest exciting points of the relationship. You have to be and see everything around that person to actually really have something of a relationship. My name is Coach Andres. Thank you for watching. Check out for next video. Subscribe to my channel. And again, leave any comments. I'm always interested in what you all have to say. Take care. Bye.